Aloha.
I'm Andy.
And I'm Zaya.
And we are the Copper Children.
And we're discussing our upcoming album, Speaking in Spirits, with Gabe here at Met Radio.
We'll be releasing it April 19th on all streaming platforms. Go ahead and check it out and come to the show on Friday.
We have today the Copper Children in the studio. Their latest album, Speaking in Spirits, is coming out on April 19th with an album release show at Larimer Lounge on the same night. With limited sign records at the show, we have Zaya and Andy in the room right now.
Hey.
Hey.
Hey, how's it going?
Man, we're so grateful to be here.
Yeah, life's good, man.
Awesome.
So awesome.
It's a beautiful day.
Surrounded by young learners and growers and
movers and shakers.
Movers and shakers.
Yes, definitely. The new generation.
Yes.
Rise up now.
Ow!
Awesome. Well, thank you guys so much for coming. You guys have said in another interview that this new album coming out has basically been your soundtrack to life. Would you elaborate on that for me, like examples from your music or songs that have really been a soundtrack for you lately?
Just as an example for me, the other day I was driving my car, and I'm an Uber driver, so I play this music a lot for people, and it's amazing how sometimes like a song will just perfectly flow, like with the turns and with the scene, and then the song literally stopped right as I pull up to my house. So I was just like, wow, all right, universe. So that was an example for me.
Yeah, that's crazy. What about you?
I mean, I think, I think like maybe how the songs are written and how they kind of arrive, to us on some level. But yeah, I mean, kind of like Andy was saying, I mean, I think anything we sing about, we're prepared to, on some level live, because I think you can't really sing about things that you don't live, But, I mean, I guess I'll use the example of like tall grass, like I've been following sunshine. I've been running from rain,
Yeah.
I think that's been prevalent, like Andy brings up, like he went to Thailand, I went to Africa in the winter, it's like we're following the sunshine.
Yeah.
But still I know, it's all temporary, and, you can't really run from, it's going to rain sometimes, it's going to be sunny sometimes, but it's all temporary, good, bad definitions. It's not really bad or good on certain levels, so that one is a good example for me of, kind of experiencing the song,
Yeah, so it's kind of like finding your own path and just, following the sunshine, trying to find like a brighter path for you.
Yeah, and it's also like embracing the fact that you may want to follow sunshine, but at the same time, like you can't really escape the rain, because there is no sunshine without rain, and vice versa.
Yeah, for sure.
And that it's good for us at some level to experience those things, in those parts of ourselves, those shadow parts, those rainy parts of ourselves.
Yeah, exactly.
So to speak.
And sometimes following something that's your heart's path doesn't mean you're not going to get heartbroken or that it's going to be easy, but it doesn't mean it's the wrong thing to do just because it hurts,
Amen.
So.
Yeah, there's a song like that. I can't remember what it's called. What is it?
Is it a popular song?
Maybe, yeah.
Is it Britney Spears or?
No, it's like Keep on Dreaming, even if it breaks your heart.
Oh, yes.
What is the name of that song? I don't know. I don't know, but
I think it's Snoop Dogg.
A very hip cat.
Snoop D-O-double-G. I think that's who you're talking about.
No, I don't know. It could be. I don't know.
No,
I think it's a country song.
Oh, it is?
Yeah.
Is it Garth?
No.
It's like life sucks sometimes.
Life
get
sucks.
over it.
Buy a truck.
I honestly don't know.
Life sucks.
I'll have to
buy
find
a
it.
truck. That's the merger of country and hip hop, like we're
happened.
doing.
Yeah. We're defined not by that.
We're defined not by definition.
Okay, yeah, just kind of like go for it.
We're like, like Flubber or something.
That's a good movie.
Yeah.
I've seen it when I was younger.
We digress.
It's one of my favorite ones. Yeah.
Awesome. Yeah, so just kind of going on with like, some of the singles off your album. Your latest single, Don't Be So Shy, is about being yourself. Why is that an important message for you to have in your music today?
Go ahead, LZR. You weirdo.
Well, I mean, honestly, it's important because first of all, it's a personal mantra, like I think as much as music seems to be about other people, like, it's one of the hardest lessons for me to embrace in my life at times, is like not to be shy and just to be my fullest self, whatever that looks like. And like, you know, if some days it looks like, man, I feel sexy, I feel beautiful, I feel this and that, I feel funny. Some days it feels like, man, I don't feel that at all. I feel like dried out and shriveled up. But like, that's not less important, that version. So it's kind of like, you know, and honestly, I feel like if you look around, a lot of the problems I think in our society, in our world, are to do with people's inability to feel like they can be their fullest, most honest self, you know?
Yeah.
And so I think it's just like, hey, if we're going to figure anything out, then we have to start by being who we are, you know? Because there's no chance, because we need each other to be ourselves. That's the reason, in my opinion, why we're here, so.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I definitely feel that, you know, it's just like you need to be comfortable with who you are and like really love yourself before, like, you know, you can even love somebody else or just like give any of yourself to anyone else. So it's just like you got to love yourself and just be you.
Yeah.
Like, there's nobody
every
else
little
to
bit
be
of it,
you.
every drop,
Yeah.
every hill and valley, you know, it's all a gift, you know. And if someone can't accept that, then clearly they have a problem with themselves on some level, you know. So it's like, you know, but it's not even about other people. It's just like, you know, reminding ourselves and reminding others, like, hey, you know, if not for all time, just right now, like, let's just be ourselves, and like that's the most beautiful, powerful thing we can do. So.
Yeah, definitely, I agree.
Yeah, thank you,
Awesome.
man.
I love that. Cool. And then for those listening, you know, just for the upcoming show that you guys are having, who haven't seen you in concert, what would be like something that they can expect to see you at your live show? Like, what would be something that you would do there, or like something you would have that people wouldn't expect?
Well, we like to live our lives with a no expectations policy. So when coming to a Copper Children's show, have no expectations. When waking up in the morning, have no expectations. Just be grateful for whatever occurs.
Yeah.
But also, you know, we're going to have a great time. It's a participatory experience. It's not just about watching a band on a stage. It's about, like we just talked about, being yourselves, bringing your own vibes to this whole situation, collectively creating an experience. Because we always have a great time, no matter where we are. If we're in a bar with 5 people, or if we're at the Larimer Lounge sold out 200 people, which is what Friday's looking like it's going to be. So.
Yeah, I mean, I think like our goal is heart opening, you know. So I mean, I think like if you're ready for it, we just might open up our hearts together and like dance in the spirit realms of the ethers of evaporated joy and spirit. But not really evaporated, but like, you know what I'm saying, like climate type shit stuff. Like.
Yeah, definitely. Just kind of, you know, live life without a lot of expectations.
Yeah,
maybe, like,
exactly. And like, you know, we might play the same songs that you've heard, but they're you know, we never know where we're gonna go. Like, so, you know, we go with we don't know. Okay, we don't know. You know, it's gonna be momentary. It's gonna be that moment. We strive to capture that the moment of time that we're in. So that night's gonna be popping, and if it's, you know, how it's popping will be how the show's popping too.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, it's kind of just like, you know, having that connection with the audience, no matter what happens.
Exactly.
You know?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, riding the waves together and
being honored, and, you know,
being willing to participate.
Being
together.
honest and vulnerable, you know.
Yeah, for sure. Awesome. So we're just gonna go into our first live song of the review here. We have you guys gonna be doing "Don't Be So Shy," which is the first single off the album, right, that you released, or?
Yeah,
cool.
it is. And we have a music video of it. See, the thing is, I know it's easy, still I try too hard, baby. Having a tendency to get hung up on the little things, honey, as opposed to seeing the bigger picture. She said, Don't be so shy, don't be so shy. Don't be so shy, don't be so shy. Just be yourself, just be yourself. Just be yourself, be yourself. And we'll be feeling through emotion like a roller coaster, baby. Trying to figure out which one of them is the truth, hey. But we will know better feeling, huh. You can't know better feeling. She said, don't be so shy, don't be so shy. Don't be so shy, don't be so shy. Yeah, just be yourself, just be yourself. Just be yourself, be yourself.
So sing your song and dance your dance, and go ahead and make romance. If that's what you came for, have a good time. You sing your song and walk your walk. You do your silly dance and talk your silly talk. If that's what you came for, then shine. Yeah, don't be so shy, don't be so shy. Don't be so shy, don't you ever be shy. Just be yourself, just be yourself. Just be yourself, be yourself. Don't be so hard on yourself. Don't be so hard on yourself. Just live in love, just live in love. Just live in love, live in love.
Awesome. That was great,
Last
guys.
note, bro. Mess me up.
I love that. It was really good. It's just like, really good to be talking about, well, loving yourself and just living in love. So I love that.
Thanks, man.
Sweet. So that was Don't Be So Shy by the Copper Children.
Hey, yo.
Live here at Met Radio. Next thing I want to talk about is your song Drama in the City. You guys talk about just issues going on in the city and like having a revolution. How do you hope that your music will have part in a revolution?
I think honestly, it's funny. I hope that it's actually maybe more like it's part of an evolution, because we've thought about the word revolution, and it's basically it's like going in a circle, and if we look at like, for example, the American Revolution, like to get in this, but I mean, the government fought for liberation from from the monarchy in England. At the same time, an oppressive system replaced it. So I think that if we can evolve past oppressive systems, I would prefer that to a revolution. because you know, I mean, I think that we've done a lot of revolving, you know, and I'm personally prepared for evolving. So I think that's what I hope for is actually that it's part of evolution as opposed to revolution.
Okay. Yeah. So it's kind of like changing ourselves and.
Yeah, it's
kinda
like
hoping
moving
for-
out of you know, I mean, moving out of these destructive patterns on a personal and a large scale, you know.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Because I mean, there's so much that we can do, like just kind of like starting small, you know, in our own communities, and then
Yeah.
that can kind of grow and branch out.
And
into
even
something
like
bigger.
we said about like even starting small, like on a personal level, you know, because
Yeah.
the funny thing is like we think it's small to change our hearts, to start here, but actually, you know, if you think about our bodies are made of, you know, uncountable molecules, and then if you break that down, atoms, you know, and you know, I mean, I think there's we know as little probably about our own bodies as we do about the universe itself. So
Yeah.
you know, it's not small to evolve on a personal level, you know, and then we can see it, you know, on a worldwide, maybe a universe scale, I guess.
Yeah.
You know.
Definitely.
Yeah, because you know, it's like if all of the individuals decide that we're no longer going to participate in dramatic activities, even just so far as road rage, so far as interpersonal relationships, you know, where we choose peace in opportunities where we could choose drama very easily. And animal mind, monkey mind, wants to choose drama. We want, you know, hey, what you talk about, you know,
Yeah.
very easy. But if
For sure.
we individually, you know what I mean?
No, that was a good example.
It's like if we individually choose peace, that's where the evolution really begins.
Yes.
It's like, okay, I don't need to fight you to make myself bigger than you. Like the bigger person is going to just choose peace, you know, take the Zen path. And you know, it's a daily
Yeah.
challenge for all of us. It's not like it does get easier, I think, with practice, but it's still a great challenge for all of us.
It's a forever journey, you know, and to think that there'll be, you know, I mean, I like to think that there's some sort of solution that's everlasting, but at the same time, I also recognize the human experience is that of, you know, I mean, there's a reason that, you know, people want to be healers, and we always talk about being healed, you know, and I think, well, if we don't need to be healed, then there's no need for healers anymore. So
Yeah.
it's like until we, you know, it's odd because on some level, an obsession with healing and is also an obsession with our own hurt, you know. But maybe that's also part of the human experience, and also just on some level loving the experience of being human, and the fact that, you know, when we are in these separate individual lives, like there is a certain amount of drama that happens, but I think not instigating it, not propagating it, you know.
Yeah.
You know, just you know, dealing with it and moving on, and loving and encouraging one another, you know,
Yeah.
and being on each other's team, you know,
Definitely.
because we are all related. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Human
Like,
fam.
you know,
Yeah,
all my
'cause
relations. Yeah.
ultimately, like, you know, the powers that be, one of the oldest strategies that we've seen of how to rule people is to divide and conquer them. And
Yeah.
so there's a reason why they're putting on all of these things in front of our faces to divide us, whether that's sexual orientation, who we love, whether that's the
Race.
color of our skin, our genetic background, borders, these ideas of immigration. Like, all of these things are purposefully set in place so that we are divided from each other, and we get out of that love.
Yeah.
You know, but if we focus on love and live in love, then there's no separating us. There's
Yeah.
like, you can tell me whatever you want, like, but I will still see God in
Yeah.
the person in front of me, because that is my
Amen.
choice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we
Yeah, I mean-
propagate that.
Yeah, it's really just all up to you. You know, there's like, they're always trying to put up borders. They're always trying to just
Yeah.
be like, you know, make it so you can't be together. Like, it's wrong to like be one. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Mhm.
So yeah, it's definitely just up to you to like see what's being told and just like have your own opinion about it and just like, you know, address it, but then just like move on from it. You know,
Yeah,
it's
and
like,
and recognize that you have simultaneously infinite power and also very little on some, you know, like it's like you're gigantic and tiny at the same time, and both are important at times to be, you know. It's like I love the feeling sometimes of like recognizing I'm like an ant or a sheep, You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And like I am part of this massive machine on some level, and I'm doing things that I think are like Zaya's life. But on some level, I'm just participating in a giant twisting and twirling cog thing. But on another level, I am also a twisting and twirling cog, you know?
Yeah. There's just a lot going on. I mean,
Yeah.
there's just like, there's
Never
you,
stops.
and then there's like the universe.
fun.
You know?
It's fun.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
It's crazy to
Fun.
think about.
It's good to be here,
Yes.
you know? It's good to be here. We're very lucky. Like, we're 1 in 7 billion that got to that little egg. Was like, yeah, man.
I know, that's so
Like,
crazy.
that's insane. Like, even the people who value their lives and think they're the most worthless, they're still 1 in a billion to get to, you know. So it's like we can
Special.
remind each other, like, hey, you are special. The fact that you're here, you're like, this is the NBA of spirit
Life,
stuff.
yeah.
Exactly. Like, I think about that a lot. It's like,
You are
kind
the
of like,
LeBron James of being.
yeah. You're just like
You
a
be-
superstar just being alive.
Yeah.
Exactly. I love that. It's really cool. Cool. So I heard that you were also going to be doing like some readings of like, I think, personal stories before the show, the day of.
We were gonna actually do like there's this thing called Sing Me a Story, and it's like these kids, I don't know, in different situations, and you kind of write a song based on a story that's on
They
of these
wrote.
different stories that they wrote, and they're pretty funny. It's like the jar and the raven and the jar, and it's like the raven went to the jar and put pebbles in the jar. And then he got water. And that's like the whole story. It's like,
That's awesome.
okay.
Kids are awesome, you know, and we're copper children after all, so
Yeah.
it's going to be a good experiment.
Yeah.
We fully embrace our inner child for sure, you know.
Yeah. It definitely works well together. And it's always fun to like hear what like kids think about or like what they think is like, this should be, you know, this should be out there, you know?
Yeah, exactly.
I love that.
It's so good.
Yeah, I found this one called Omar's Birthday. And I thought that might be a fun one for us to do.
Nice.
Yeah. That'd be cool. So is there just like you get submitted some like
You just choose
stories?
you just choose a story, and you just kind of make the best song you can out of it, and we're gonna record it before the set on Friday. So
Okay. Sweet.
so it's, you know, it's a cool thing to do, and we'll see how it goes. But you know,
yeah.
I mean, either way, you know, putting intention into like the future generations is one of the greatest, probably the most important mission that you could do. So
Yeah, I love that. That's really cool. Awesome. So the next song we're gonna get into is "Drama in the City," which is what we've talked about previously. So we're just gonna go ahead and play that one real quick.
No more drama here. There was drama in my city yesterday, but there's no drama in my city today. And we are not running. We are not running. There ain't nothing to be afraid of, and we are not scared.
Awesome.
rock and
I
roll.
like those guys.
I love that.
Band seems like they're pretty all right.
Yeah. Seems like they're pretty good. Seems like they know what they're talking about.
Band of hands.
Hams.
Hams. Hambone McGlone.
I loved it. I just love that one. The first time I heard it, it was just like there was so much energy in it, and like you can feel the passion, you know. And it was just like I really felt it. You know what I mean? Like you kind of like feel like there's some drama. Like let's get this out of here. Like come on.
Yeah, that's great, man. I'm glad to hear that.
Yeah, that's what we're going for sure.
It means
Sweet.
we're not just saying it. We're spraying it.
Yes, you feeling it. Sweet.
Vibing.
Cool. So I wanted to get into the other one, which is kind of just a play on recent events. Is Mr. Taxman? Since taxes were due yesterday,
Oh,
Dang.
I haven't done mine yet.
Good for you.
I
Got
had to do an extension. Same.
That's aight. That's aight.
Extension.
Extend that.
That's what
We
I had to
also
do.
did extension.
Nice.
See.
Yeah, I just didn't know what I was doing, so I was like, no, it's not gonna happen today.
Hey, it's good for you, man.
So I just
Take it one step at a time.
yeah, there's a lot going on.
Yeah, too much drama.
Exactly. Too much drama. Didn't want to deal with the taxes. I did an extension.
Have some compassion, Mr. Tax Man.
Exactly. So with this song, you guys aren't afraid to talk about politics in your music. What are your thoughts on artists who want to talk about politics in the music? You know, when some people are like musicians should stay out of politics or they don't know anything about it. You know, it's just like, how do you feel like your role is important in just like talking about what's happening in today's world?
I feel like there's no separation between the two. Like if we are leading people in powerful ceremony, then naturally we're going to be political. Like I feel like we've put politics in this like little pigeonhole. And like, oh, it's only important to these rich white guys, and it's like now look at what's happened with that, putting politics in this little keyhole, is that we've allowed those guys to take over, and then we've disempowered ourselves. And in reality is like we all need to be active and aware in our brains and in our actions that this is affecting all of us. It's not just like, oh, this doesn't affect me, like I don't need to participate, because you know, realistically then we get people like our current situation, which, you know, obviously isn't the most ideal. So I feel like it's our duties not to be divisive by any means, but really to be unitive in our music. And it's beyond politics, you know. It's like survival of all of us. Like we all need clean air, clean water, and take care of Mama Earth. Like it's as simple as that. I don't care what your political beliefs are.
Yeah.
The issues that we're dealing with now are beyond politics, you know. So we have to get involved. There's
Life
no
and death.
option, you know.
For sure. I mean, it's just human rights, you know what I mean? It's just
Exactly.
like I think for people to like have a platform, you know, in music or whatever it is, you know, I feel like they should, or like you guys should get involved, you know, because it's just like you have a platform, you have a following, you have people who want to know what you think about certain things. And so it should just be like, you know, you should get out and vote, or like you should go out and do things, you know, you should just be like active, like you said, in your communities and just know what's going on and just be aware of that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like personally, it's like, to me, I in my personal view, I think when it comes to things around politics, to me, I'm less about choosing sides so much as, you know, feeling like when I do see and I feel injustice, that I'm not afraid to speak on it, and I'm not afraid to, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And you know, and I'm not saying like, you know, I just you know, we do have a platform to inspire and uplift, you know, and I think like if that, you know, that's kind of, you know, if any politics, for me personally, like I want to continue to inspire and uplift people, you know, because I think like oftentimes, you know, like you said, Andy, it's like the politics of being a human, you know what I'm saying? And a lot of people who, you know, we get really angry with, they're hurt, you know? And it's like we have to, I see that we have to learn how to, we just have to learn how to work together, you know? And honestly, the truth is learning to even appreciate each other's opinions, you know? Because by no means do I need everyone to nor do I want everyone to be agreeing, like us all think the same. Like I think the beauty of us being what we are is that we have different opinions, and you know, and but just feeling like not afraid to speak up when injustice is happening. That to me is like really important, you know. And around Taxman, I think like the interesting message about it is, it seems like, you know, maybe we're talking down about the Taxman. But, you know, it's interesting because at some point it says you're still a human. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And in that way, it's like, you know, it's like the Taxman could be them, you know? We all have a them. Like, man, if they didn't do this. And in a way, it's like, hey, they are humans, just like you are. And you might be them to them, you know? So, you know, we all have a taxman, you know, but like our taxman isn't not a human necessarily, you know, and it's important to remember that, we're dealing with humans, even at the highest levels, the most powerful, supposedly, still humans, and and also just having fun and, just pointing out, I think, like, some of the biggest problems are just like financial disparities, you know what I'm saying? So, but, you know.
And I think another positive message in the song is that there's many types of wealth, that just as we can be taxed on many levels, we can also be rich in many levels. We can be rich in love and rich in community,
yes.
rich in family, and these are really the greatest
True.
wealths.
Yeah, exactly.
The truest wealths, yeah. So
yeah.
we bout that life.
Yeah, and we don't hate the tax, man.
Not at all.
I have, like my good friends, do taxes, so it's kind of funny. I'm like, yo, I love you guys, man, but at the same time, sometimes, when your taxes are going towards, like killing people and breaks for large corporations that aren't paying taxes.
Bombs.
That's what I'm not okay with.
Yeah, exactly.
And I'll tell my people who do taxes, I'll be like, yo, when are we gonna, it just doesn't seem fair that people who, are barely getting by are paying large amounts of taxes, while people who are massive, like Amazon, is not paying taxes. Like, that's just not fair.
The NFL.
That's not okay.
It makes
That's
no
not
sense.
okay,
Makes no
man.
sense.
Straight up. It's like, how can you? I just don't get how these companies can be okay with that. And so that's, I think, the biggest thing. It's not about people. It's just like, what's wrong and what's not right. And honestly, to me, like, that's not right. I'll gladly pay taxes for public roads, public schools. I happily will. I believe in that.
Yeah.
But like, when I'm paying taxes and a lot of it's going towards, like war, it's like, well, I don't really want it. I don't want to pay that.
No.
Because I don't support that. So that,
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. So really, it's just about finding that human connection in people and just
Yeah.
understanding like
and
our different
connecting
beliefs.
all across. Like, okay, yeah, sure, you're a Republican, you're a Democrat. It's okay. We're still humans. We can have our opinions. Often, Republican and Democrat is really just rural and urban. Like, that's actually, if you look at the map, it's like where agricultural places are, it's red, and where urban is, it's blue. Which is kind of, interesting. So.
Yeah.
But I love
that.
people who are on both sides. And I appreciate people who grew up in one or the other and has the sense to still think for themselves and not just choose a side and be just completely like, I'm on this side, even though, so.
Yeah, exactly. Just kind of having that open-mindedness and just, working with other people, relating with other people,
Yeah, because once we start these dialogues, that's where the healing occurs, And they've done some really cool studies where, they sit down a ultra right-wing rural person who's never met a homosexual or never met an Islamic person, and they have a dialogue, and they realize that, wow, we have a lot more in common than we might have thought. And, I think the lack of exposure is really what lends itself to this divisiveness. It's like if you're way out on the plains, because like I grew up out in Burlington, out on the Eastern Plains, and there's some great people out there, but many of them just haven't had the exposure to a lot of different demographics of people. And is that their own fault? I wouldn't go so far as to say fault, but it's just how it is. It's like when you're working on the farm, you got a lot of things to take care of, and so you're not planning trips to Thailand, you're not going to Mexico. Like, you might, but even in doing so, like, the genuine interactions between human beings is what has changed my life personally and has helped open my mind in terms to other religions, to other spiritual ways of thinking, to other just culture, and so what we need to do is just continually set up these dialogues where people can interact with each other in a compassionate and peaceful way and like see the commonalities, because everybody likes to have a good time, everybody wants to have their kids fed, we all want to be able to make love to who we want to make love to, we want our families protected. It's very simple, no matter where I go in the world, that's the same. People are people,
Yeah, exactly.
So
All right. Yeah, I love that. Yeah, just definitely just, being together and just really understanding each other more.
Yeah, continuing and striving, like pushing, like it's not enough just to, like actually going out and choosing to do that, and encouraging people, to, and even encouraging situations, like it's a prayer that at Copper Children shows of the future that, people will be drawn together because of this music that maybe wouldn't be together, and maybe that can bring, I pray that can come, that can happen at our concerts even, is that people come together by the message of the music, and then they start to recognize that, we have way more in common than we do not,
Yeah.
And like we have a tendency to focus on what we don't have in common. But the truth is if we focus on what we do, we would find that we have the major things we have in common.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Like we have noses, ears,
Yeah, that's the important
eyeballs,
thing.
teeth,
Exactly. We're all the
hearts,
same. Yeah. Yeah. So like speaking of, like you were saying, with connecting with more people through music and everything, and also just treating people like humans, which we all are. Just being in the Denver area, are there any locals that you would want to like collaborate with or like work with, or anybody that you've performed with?
Ooh, we have a lot of great friend groups that we've been playing shows with. The Mocochetes are the first ones that come to my mind. They're brothers in the similar path, working towards unifying people and standing up for injustice. So they're good friends of ours. Also, just in our friend group, we're friends with like the Al Capones, great ska band, as well as Intuit, and who else comes to mind?
Nikki Flyin, one of the famous singer who's she's been busking on the streets of Denver / singing all around for a long time, and she's family to us, and she's on the album. But she's another one, Nikki Flyin. She's definitely one that we've collaborated with, and she's taught me a lot, and I think she's taught us a lot. Catadon Studios, Matt Tanner, and Brent. He's gonna, if he hears that.
I don't know.
Love you,
last
Brent.
names.
But Catadon Studios, where we recorded this recent album, and it goes on and on.
We're definitely open to new collaborations. It's kind of like the next branch of the Copper Children is like, all right, cool, we got our thing solid, so let's branch out and get some horns, let's get some more females singing, let's get some collaborative rappers, and the show is going to have some of that on Friday for sure. We're going to bring in some dancers. We got, some special guests planned, so
Sweet.
We'll also have I guess Banshee Tree, they're another one that
we're
we've
excited to have them.
really started to collaborate with more. And Sarah Mountain, the Rushmores, that's the lineup. So those guys, and and then just the older scene too, and a lot of different amazing people. So
it's got to work together. It's a good area, good scene for music.
It is, man. It's a great scene.
Cool. So I want to get into this next song that you guys are going to perform live, which is Miriam.
Miriam, she dances on into the night, on into the night. Miriam, she dances on into the night, on into the night. If I were a sailor, a pirate, I'd be out on the sea, yes, out on the sea. And if I'm a man, a musician, I'd be moving through time with this melody. Miriam, dances on into the night, into the night, on into the night. Miriam, she dances on into the night, into the night, on into the night.
Awesome. That was beautiful.
Thank you. It's great to be here on the Met.
Yes.
Yes. With Gabe.
Thank you guys for that live performance. That was
Thank you,
beautiful.
man.
Just kind of going off what we were talking about earlier, how do you guys feel the Denver scene kind of like is like different than other communities in music?
I like the collaborative efforts of people. Like, it feels, Zaya and I both lived in LA at different times in our lives, and maybe at the same time, but we didn't know each other. And it felt very competitive in LA, like very, like, who do you know to help me out? And like, what can you do for me? And whereas Denver, I feel like, is very much like, yo, bro, you want to play a show? Like, let's have a party. Like,
Yeah.
you know, let's help each other out. So that's just my perspective.
Sweet.
Totally. I agree with Andy. Like, I mean, I felt, you know, like it was kind of, you know, in LA, I think it's like, oh, we're going to blow them off the stage, you know, like, you know. And I mean, I think there is a certain level of competitivity in Denver, but I think, like, you know, our scene, the scene that we've kind of come up in, is definitely a scene that's continually about, you know, uplifting one another. It's like, hey, you're a musician. That's what you want to do. That's what your cart is calling you to do. Why would I want to be in competition with that? Like, I want to do that too, you know. And it's like, we already, you know, as a musician, as an artist, people want you to do things for free. They don't, you have to value your own time, you know, like, you know, you could be a, you know, people don't actually fix a car for free, but they'll ask you to, you know, play a show for free. And not that they're the same, but it's like they're both crafts, you know. And what I find in Denver is like, it's like a supportive scene and a little bit of a clean slate. Like, I think the scene of Denver has been under the radar up until now. And so it feels like you're part of building a scene as opposed to just jumping in. Like, you know, New Orleans, San Francisco, LA,
Yeah.
you know, New York, they all
Nashville.
have built-in scene. Like, the scene is very much defined. And I think right now Denver is defining its scene. And so I think, like, that's pretty exciting, you know?
Yeah.
There's been plenty of great music to come out of Denver, but I think, like, you know, to have it be like an LA, an Austin, you know, a New Orleans, I think it's moving in that direction to being a music city, you know, and so that's what I love about it is, you know, it feels like we're part of building something, not just kind of jumping in and trying to make a splash, you know. Not that it hasn't. I want to make sure to pay homage to all the people who've come before us, and I know that they've been building it, so I'm not saying we're building it, but it does feel like we're part of a youthful, you know, energy that's pretty exciting coming out of Denver right now, you know.
Yeah, like, it just kind of feels like you have like a voice in it, and you have, like, you know, a say of like what's gonna be coming next, or like,
Yeah.
you know, you get to work together, you get to like be performing with other artists, and it's just kind of like you're there together in the moment, you know.
Exactly. And
Sweet.
you can feel history happening in the moment, and that's pretty cool, you know.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's like, wow, you know, like some of the jams we've had, you know, you can almost feel like they have this historical feeling to them. And not to say like that means anything outside of just the feeling, but, you know, that feeling is pretty cool, you know, to feel like history is being made now, you know. So
Yeah. So, like, speaking of building, how do you guys work together on creating your music? Like, what is your role of like everything that you guys do, and like how do you go from like an idea to a finished product?
Well, I feel like Zaya often brings us, you know, an outline of a song or like an idea, and he's gracious enough to open it up to us and be like, all right, well, what about this part? What do you think about this? And then we'll hashtag through it. Sometime hashtag through it. Hashtag my idea is
Instagram.
A broken
Gram
bridge.
it, maybe.
We should do a vocal part on that part. Hashtag vocals. No.
The truth is like, I'm an idea guy. Like, I have many ideas, and like the amount of ideas, I don't stand a chance at finishing, so it's like I'm like, yo, here's a bunch of ideas, and I recognize like I need these guys, I need them, we need each other, we play, different roles, and honestly the writing process is ever evolving and expanding, but like up until now it's been like I'll bring like a spark, you know what I'm saying? I'll bring a spark to the fire, and we'll be like, all right, let's start a fire, like and then it, we kind of let it reveal itself to us, and we all write our own parts, and we have the freedom there's a lot of freedom in the writing process, and we kind of let it just happen organically, without a lot of, we kind of just try, we try to free it and really just have our ears open, I think,
Yeah.
And be open to new ideas. And then usually, like lately, especially with this album, we played these songs a lot. Like, we've played Drama in the City at probably every show since like for 3 years.
Yeah, they've been the song.
We just now are releasing it, which is pretty interesting, as well as Roots. A lot of these songs, we've tested them for years on audiences, and so finally, we're about to release this album, so we're so super excited, because as songwriters, it's almost like these songs are like, tapping us on the shoulder every day, like, hey, have you released us to the world yet? And then like once they're all free, they're stoked, and they're all flowing around the universe. They're just flowing everywhere.
We're so ready to make new music too, I think, like I think in releasing this is also liberating for us, because it's like, man, okay, now these are, we can kind of let go of this stage and kind of, move into what is it that we're trying to say next,
Yeah.
And I'm definitely always stoked about that.
New creations.
Yeah. And like you said, how is the writing process going to look, because, it's always changing, and our roles are very fluid, so, so, and I think that's really a beautiful and important thing to what it is that we are and what we continue to be.
Yeah, I love that. Like you guys said, your music is just like out in the universe and just like ready for people to hear,
hippie
ready
stuff.
for people to be a part of. Yeah. I like it.
Speak for yourself, Barry. That was me.
Terrence.
I did
That's okay.
Terrence.
Yeah, I was just wanting to know, like, what song are you most excited for the fans to hear just you guys perform?
Ooh.
I want to just revitalize Who Let the Dogs Out.
Yes, that could be good.
Do a remix.
I think we will.
folk remix.
The remix, yeah, that could be good.
Man,
No,
I always love to play Roots, just because for me it's one of my favorite songs. It has like a deep musical ancestry. It feels very gypsy.
Yeah.
Roma.
yeah.
And so that's pretty cool. That's, for me personally, I'm excited for that one always.
I think I'm excited about Tallgrass personally. I just love I love how it came out, and I feel like for me personally, like the direction that it is going in is like it's a foreshadowing a little bit of maybe some future songwriting. And also just, we were in Taos, New Mexico, which we like to go down there. Shout out to Tribal Visions.
Tribal Visions.
Chaitanya, Estrella, yeah.
Big Sean.
Big Sean,
Leaf.
yep. Al Capone's. When we were driving, we were out there, and it had been recorded and mastered and all that, and we were out on the mesa, and, we were listening to Tallgrass, and it was just so great for driving and just expansive. Like, it was a soundtrack to the expanse and the landscape of Taos. And after hearing that, I love a song where you can drive and it just like is narrating, so I'm pretty excited about, I think Tallgrass personally.
It's hard to pick.
It is.
It's like
I'm
picking
excited.
between your babies.
The whole album, man. The whole album is. I mean, to me, like the whole album is. There's not one track that I'm, like, I'm not. There's no tracks on the album that I'm, And granted, I recognize that some will be more popular, but like I stand fully behind, every track, and I'm happy to, I think some, and I love how some of them are a little more for maybe, some of them just they all have different personalities, and I think that they'll connect with different people. Just like if you're a Leo and he's a Sagittarius and I'm an Aries, like we'll connect in our own.
Are you guys actually those?
I'm a Sag.
I don't know. I just
Because I actually am a Leo.
Wow. Good guess.
So I was like, whoa, that's crazy.
You guessed.
I guessed.
That's wild.
Really, bro?
Yeah. I was
No
born on
way.
July 24th.
That's it.
Wow, there you go.
That's wild.
I think we have to drop the mics now.
Dang, that's crazy. I mean, what is like how many
On
songs
air,
are there?
on air, readings, on air.
On our readings.
Call
yeah.
in. I'll
We'll guess your
guess
sign.
yours.
Oh my God. I love that. That was crazy.
Good one.
Sweet. Yeah. So definitely just sounds like you guys have like some kind of like visual with like the music that you guys want to get out there. You know what I mean? And just kind of have people feel it.
Yeah, like painting. Like I love when I can close my, like I love songs that paint a really beautiful like picture. So, making really visual music is something I think we do really well, and we're continuing to get better at, and that's pretty fun.
Sweet. Well, thank you guys so much for coming. We're gonna be playing a song right after this.
All right.
But I just wanted to say,
Thank you.
The Carpet Children's third studio album, Speaking in Spirits, is going to be released April 19th. Also, make sure and get your tickets to the show at Larimer Lounge.
Friday.
Yes, album release party.
Bicycle day.
And limited signed vinyl.
Yes.
Which is going to be pretty awesome.
Yeah.
And then-
T-shirts.
Yes, T-shirts, merch,
Hugs.
music.
Music. High fives. Dance.
Yes.
Smiles.
So make sure you do all those things. Buy tickets, listen to the album a million times.
Yeah.
And this next song we're going to play is called Tall Grass.
I've been following sunshine, baby. I've been running from rain. I've been listening to my heart now. It's been giving me pain. Still I know, darling, I know. Sugar, I know. It's temporary.
Awesome. I loved that one.
Yeah, thank you.
That was really
One
cool.
of my
I was
faves.
actually looking at the album art while listening to it, and it just like put it all together. You know what I
Right?
mean?
It's pretty dope, huh?
Yeah,
That's
shout
really
out
cool.
to Frankie
Frankie
Zink,
Zink, yeah.
Art of the Animal. She does great work. She made all our album art, and as well as our monkey logo.
Yeah, I love it. Is that going to be the art with the vinyl as well?
Yeah, it's
Sweet.
big,
Mhm.
big and beautiful. And then the albums themselves are orange, spotted with blue.
What?
Shout out
That
to
is
the
so
Denver
cool.
Donkeys.
How many do you have total? Because I want to get one.
I think we have 200 left, and 50 of them are special editions. So
Yeah.
Okay, sweet. Yeah. I'm excited. I'll be at the show, I'm sure.
Awesome, Gabe.
awesome, man. Yeah,
Appreciate
please.
you, brother.
Thank you so much for coming in, guys.
Thank
Yeah,
you,
thanks for
man.
having
You're
us,
This has
brother.
been the Copper Children here
Woo-hoo.
at MSU Denver.
Blessings.
Matt
Yeah,
Radio.
blessings, y'all.
Yes, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Peace.